out, we're going to be meeting the woman who is so sensitive to the sound of food being eaten that she has to wear headphones at meal times.
Yeah, we're going to try and help her out. We're also finding out how this couple will give her assistance to get over the fear by the end of the programme. We're going to talk about fear now. Most of us either have or know someone who can't stand spiders, for instance, heights, confined spaces.
Yeah, everyone's got their paranoias, but Cheryl Houghton is a little bit different. She can't bear the sound of other people eating. Here's Lorna Ramsey with her story.
Most of us wouldn't even notice, but for Cheryl Houghton, the sound of people eating is a nightmare. Her phobia means she can't bear to hear people chewing or crunching. She sometimes has to block out family meals by listening to music.
It's like hearing fingernails scratched on a blackboard. You have that physical sort of wind sound, and then if you have to stay and listen to the crunching anymore, I have sweaty palms and my heart starts racing and I just start to feel like I'm going to boil up inside and I just want to sort of run away.
It all started after Cheryl saw a TV programme about the phobia when she was a teenager. Her family have had to mute their munching ever since.
Well, I didn't make a big thing of it at the time, really, because I think that can make it a bit worse. You try not to eat or crunch in front of her, you know.
It's having an effect on Cheryl's social life too. Just meeting friends in a cafe can be a challenge.
I think sometimes if we're ordering something and I know that it's going to be crunchy, she's obviously thinking about that it might make a bit of a noise, and it'd be nice if she could just go out and just feel completely relaxed when people are eating.
Noisy cinema eaters mean Cheryl often has to seat hop or even leave.
Okay, all right, that's fair enough.
Just a few minutes into our visit, the noise was too much. For now, even a simple night out is off the menu.
Well, Cheryl joins us now in the studio along with psychotherapists Nik and Eva Speakman, who are going to try to help. So how would you begin tackling this problem?
Well, Cheryl here had a bad experience when she was 13 and she became very aware of noisy food due to watching a TV programme. She's therefore created what's known as a schema, which is a cognitive thought process on how to behave when she's around noisy food, and consequently she gets into quite a rage when she hears people eating noisily, and she gets really bad anxiety. So it's our job to break that schema, and we're going to use something called Schema Conditioning Psychotherapy to do that.
How realistic it is for you guys to have a difference or make a difference between now and the end of the show?
Well, I've got to say, Dan, that, you know, we are the Speakmans and we never fail.
Oh, there you go. Right,
that's
fine.
Setting the bar high. Quite
that's probably well, look, music to your ears, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, maybe you can... I know you can't tell the detail of the process, but maybe you can give a sense of how you might help. Can you bear to let us slightly talk to you, and perhaps you can explain how you're feeling? Dan, I don't know if you can do something which is awful, which is eat some crunchy crisps.
We're not throwing this on Cheryl. She does know that we're going to do this.
We did ask her permission.
And I apologise ahead of time if it's something which is...
So talk through what this makes you feel.
I feel the anxiety as soon as you go for the crisps.
Really? So before I've even started...
Yeah, because I know what's coming, and the crunching just makes my heart beat faster. I get a little bit clammy.
I can see you're flushed.
Yeah, I seem to tune into the sound more than other people. It seems amplified to me.
So how would you help with that then?
Well, can I just say firstly, this is also known as Selective Sound Sensitivity Syndrome, which was discovered by an audiologist in 2002, and it is really common, surprisingly enough. I know it seems
maybe
strange,
this example of it is unusual, but people might have other things like backfiring cars or...
Yeah, no, quite similar. This is quite quite similar. The way that we would work with this, as Eva mentioned before, Cheryl has created a schema. And a schema, being a cognitive thought process, is just everything that we do to learn any new skill. But in this way, she's learned a bad skill as such. So what we need to do is break that schema so she doesn't act in this way again. Because essentially, the reason why she acts this way is locked in her unconscious.
It's like habit, isn't it? Really?
It is a habit.
We have a habit of...
Absolutely. I mean, it's 18 years of habit that we've got to try and break, and she's so sensitive to sound, and we've got to change that. So we've definitely got a challenge on our hands.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, Cheryl has to buy into this. Are you ready to give it a go with these guys?
Absolutely. I've got an open mind, so fingers crossed, yeah.
Because it would make a big difference to your life. We mentioned we've got some popcorn on the table, and it's like, you know, as we saw in the VT, sometimes it really does affect your social life and even sort of time with friends.
Yeah, I mean, trips to the cinema are out answer the question in case a popcorn cruncher sits next to me, so it'd make a huge difference.
We've got to get this sorted out for you, haven't we? It's ridiculous.
Well, thanks for coming on and talking about it and giving it a go at least.
Yeah.
So be interesting to see how you guys get on.
Thank you.
Half an hour, isn't it? We're going to check back in with you.
Yeah. All right, brilliant.
Thanks. Hi there, this is going to be fascinating. Earlier in the programme, we met Cheryl Houghton, who has an intense fear of people eating noisy food around her.
Yeah, here's how she reacted when I ate some crisps next to her earlier.
I feel the anxiety as soon as you go for the crisps.
Really? So before I've even started?
Yeah, because I know what's coming, and the crunching just makes my heart beat faster. I get a little bit clammy.
I can see you're flushed.
Yeah, I seem to tune into the sound more than other people. It seems amplified to me.
Well, Cheryl spent the morning with psychotherapist Nik Eva Speakman. You've all come back. How do we think it's gone? First of all, let's ask you, Cheryl, how do you feel?
I feel quite calm, actually. I feel,
do you?
Yeah, quite calm and chilled out, yeah.
This sounds really good. Should we put it to the test, Dan?
Just the same as we did before.
So, yeah.
Right, here we go.
Because even going to the crisps was a worry for you before, wasn't it?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
See the difference?
No, I feel good. Obviously, I can hear it, but I don't feel that same rage as I felt before.
Do you want to move further
You're
away?
safe now.
Yeah,
You're safe now.
Yeah.
Well,
That's amazing. Well, look, you know, it seems very unusual. You say it's not so unusual, but how did you help Cheryl out of this predicament?
Well, we actually used a therapy of ours called visual code and displacement therapy that really just scrambled the initial memory and schema that started all this problem off. And
just explain what schema is.
Schema.
I'm not sure it's that familiar.
A schema is a cognitive thought process, and basically, when Cheryl was 13, she learned incorrectly to be frightened of noisy foods.
In what way? I don't want to go into too much personal detail, but just give us a sense.
Well,
of what
basically,
that means.
she was watching this programme where they were talking about fears and phobias, and she thought, what a strange phobia for someone to have. And then she had to imagine what that would be like to have it. And in doing so, she created it for herself.
Interesting.
And that created the schema. And as she learned to behave in that way, it's happened ever since for the last 20 years. Now, we've taken that schema away, so she cannot behave that way ever again.
so that's it, done, cured.
Done. Absolutely
Really?
done.
Yeah.
And what we've replaced it with, and why she feels so calm,
And why
is
she's
because,
smiling.
And why she's smiling, because we've actually replaced it with something that she's very disinterested in, being cricket and football, I'm afraid. So she said, I've got no interest in cricket and football.
That's clever.
So we've actually kind of scrambled it up. So now she's disinterested in you eating. Like Nik said, you're actually safe now, Dan, because you were so close.
She won't break into a sweat
really
when she hears a kick-off.
Oh, really?
Or
You wouldn't
anything,
get-
will you?
You won't let me take you to the football, though, obviously.
I don't think so.
But you can happily now,
Yeah, yeah.
as Nik suggested, go to the cinema with your mates and things like
I'm going to give
that.
it a go this weekend, I think, yeah. Yeah.
Well,
This is great news.
That'd
But
be
it
great.
is wonderful.
Yeah.
She's got a little girl as well, and it was, you know, it could have been possible that her little girl could have learned the behaviour from her. So not only have you got a social life, not only can you go on public transport and on holiday, but your little girl will be fine too.
Good stuff.
So very quickly, if people want advice for suffering from any kind of thing that's dominating their life, what should they do?
Well, obviously, the first step would normally be to speak to your GP regarding whatever the problem is. However, you know, you can have a look at our website if you like. There's some more information on there as well, and I'm guessing on your own as well.
And believe it can be cured.